Imagine having two best friends you trust with your life. Friends you've known since you were little kids. You share every secret, every dream, every moment. You call yourselves the Three Musketeers. Now, imagine those same two friends are the reason your life ends. This is the tragic and unsettling story of Skylar Neese. Skylar was a bright, bubbly She was an honor student with a part-time job at Wendy's and a loving family. Her world revolved around her two best friends, Shelia, Eddy, and Rachel Shoaf. The trio was inseparable, constantly posting pictures and messages online, showcasing their bond. To anyone looking in, they were the definition of teenage friendship. But behind these smiling selfies and cheerful posts, a dark and complicated dynamic was brewing. On the night of July 5th, 2012, Skylar finished her shift at Wendy's and went home. Her dad, Dave Neese, remembers her coming into their apartment, happy and normal. They said goodnight, and he went to bed. Security camera footage from their apartment complex captured what happened next. Around 12:30 a.m. on July 6th, a car quietly pulled up. Skylar snuck out of her ground floor bedroom window and got into the car. The car then drove away. This was the last time Skylar Neese was ever seen alive. The next morning, Skylar wasn't in her room. Her parents, Mary and Dave, were frantic. She hadn't taken her phone charger or her contact lenses. It was clear she hadn't planned to be gone for long. They called the police and reported her missing. Initially, authorities treated it as a runaway case, a common assumption with teenagers. But her parents knew their daughter. They insisted Skylar would never run away. In the days that followed, a massive search effort began. The community rallied, putting up flyers and organizing search parties. And right there, appearing to be a pillar of support, was Shelia Eddy. Shelia was in constant contact with Skylar's parents, offering comfort, helping distribute flyers, and posting desperate pleas for Skylar's return on social media. She seemed like a devastated friend, worried sick about her missing bestie. Rachel Shoaf was less visible, but she also participated in the search efforts. The Neese's family's world was a nightmare of uncertainty. Dave Neese later said, "We don't know what to do. We're just a car in neutral, and we're just rolling." They held on to hope, but as days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, that hope began to fade. Investigators were hitting dead ends. They had the surveillance video of Skylar getting into a car, but they couldn't identify the vehicle. They interviewed Shelia and Rachel multiple times. The girls stuck to their story. They had picked Skylar up, drove around for a bit, smoked some weed, and dropped her back off near her home an hour later. Their stories seemed plausible enough, but something didn't feel right. The first major crack in the case came from the girls themselves. Their stories started to have small inconsistencies, and their behavior grew more and more strange. Shelia, in particular, maintained a very active and seemingly carefree social media presence, which struck many as odd for someone whose best friend was missing. One of her tweets from this period read, "We really did go on 3, a chilling reference to their friendship pact that would later take on a horrifying meaning. The turning point came 6 months after Skylar's disappearance. On December 28, 2012, Rachel Shoaf had a complete mental breakdown. Consumed by guilt, she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. Then, on January 3, 2013, Rachel confessed everything to the police. Her confession was more horrific than anyone could have imagined. She told investigators that she and Shelia had planned to murder Skylar. The motive, it was shockingly simple and disturbingly petty. They just didn't want to be friends with her anymore. According to Rachel, Skylar knew secrets about them. Secrets that threatened the bond between Rachel and Shelia. They felt Skylar was a liability, a loose end. So they decided to eliminate her. On that fateful July night, they picked Skylar up under the pretense of just hanging out. They drove to a remote, wooded area in Pennsylvania, just across the state line. It was a spot they had been to before. They got out of the car, and on a prearranged signal Shelia sang 1, 2, 3. They attacked. They brought kitchen knives with them. They stabbed their best friend dozens of times. After the brutal attack, they tried to bury Skylar's body, but the ground was too hard and rocky. So, they covered her with branches, leaves, and rocks, leaving her in the woods. They then cleaned themselves in the car, disposed of their bloody clothes and the knives, and went on with their lives as if nothing had happened. For 6 months, They carried this dark secret, even consoling Skylar's grieving parents. Armed with Rachel's confession, police were led to the location she described in Wayne Township, Pennsylvania. There, they found Skylar's remains, just as Rachel had said. The search was finally over, but the Neese family's worst fears had been confirmed in the most brutal way imaginable. Dave Neese later famously said, "We're not monsters. We're not the ones that did this. They are. They're the monsters." Rachel Shoaf pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. For her cooperation, she received a sentence of 30 years in prison, with a possibility of parole after 10 years. Shelia Eddy, however, continued to deny everything. She kept up her facade on social media right until the day she was arrested. Police waited to build their case, finally arresting her on May 1st, 2013. She was taken out of her Spanish class in handcuffs. Shelia pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison with a possibility of parole after 15 years. The case sent shockwaves through the country. How could two teenage girls conspire to murder their best friend over something so trivial? It highlighted the dark side of teenage friendships and the hidden pressures and conflicts that can exist beneath the surface. It also showed the disturbing disconnect between online personas and real-life actions. In the aftermath, Skylar's parents became powerful advocates. They successfully campaigned for Skylar's Law in West Virginia. This law requires Amber Alerts to be issued for all missing children, regardless of whether they are believed to be runaways or victims of abduction. They wanted to ensure that no other family would have to endure the agonizing weight and initial dismissal they faced. Skylar's father, Dave, transformed the site where his daughter's body was found. He cleared the brush and built a beautiful, heartfelt memorial. It's a place for remembrance, a testament to a life cut tragically short. He wanted to turn a place of immense evil into a place of love and memory. The story of Skylar Neese is a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of trust and the devastating consequences of jealousy and cruelty. It serves as a chilling cautionary tale about the darkness that can hide behind a smiling face in a seemingly perfect friendship. Skylar was a vibrant young woman with a future full of promise, a future that was stolen by the two people she trusted most in the world. Her memory lives on, not just as a victim, but as a catalyst for change and a symbol of a parent's undying love. Thank you for watching. If you or someone you know is struggling with difficult emotions or relationships, please know that help is available. Reaching out to a trusted adult, a school counselor, or a mental health professional can make a difference. Take care and stay safe.